Hey everybody, Star 6 Wars 1 here, and welcome to the next anime review for the month of favorites. For this one, we are taking a look at the legendary anime itself, Cowboy Bebop. Now, I don't say legendary anime lightly. This is one of the most critically acclaimed anime out there. Up there with the Miyazaki films and overall critically acclaimed anime as one of the best. Now, does it deserve this legendary status? Well, let's find out. First up, the story. The story is about four bounty hunters doing what bounty hunters do best, hunting bounties, and having slight adventures and all that little good stuff. I'm going to be honest, the story is very episodic for the most part. It does have continuity within its episodic episodes, and it does have an overarching storyline laced in between episodic episodes. But I gotta be honest, almost every episode has something good in it. I mean that quite literally. I have no dislike of any episode. Yeah, there's an episode or two I would not say I prefer. Episodes like 21 Boogie Woogie Feng Shui or Toys in the Attic being two I'm not particularly fond of. But the rest of the episodes I actually have a really great fond of. I loved it. I also have to admit, give credit to the story, it's a subtle story, and I think it's one of the anime that does subtlety really well, and I love that. There is only one problem, just one, with the story, and that is its admittedly very slow start. The first 4 episodes are slow to start the plot, and I hate saying this, but they can actually hamper enjoyment, I think, a little bit. For a first watch through, it did for me. Now, that's not saying it's a bad thing that it has a slow start. It just is the only real negative in an overall perfect story. And once it gets to episode 5, it becomes the legendary anime that I described at the beginning. But I won't spoil why. Also, and this is just a final note, it's not necessarily a problem or anything, but I find it better on a rewatch. I think the first time through, I enjoyed it critically more than I did actually. This time around, I did both sides about equally. Though I still find it a little more critically better than it is enjoyment-wise, but we'll get to that a little later. Next up, the characters. We have 5 of the Bebop crew. I'm the dog, which I kind of self-explanatory. And I'm going to go through the rest of them as well. First up, we have my least favorite of the bunch, Faye Valentine. I don't like her. She's a bit of a bitch. And by a bit of a bitch, I mean a real bitch. And I don't like her a lot. You get to see why when you see how she acts. I don't like Faye at all. Until the final episodes. That's when I start to like and sympathize with her. She is sympathetic, but not till the end. And that is a major problem. Next up is my second least favorite, Ed. And no, not the Full Metal Alchemist Ed. She, and yes, I know it's a she, is... I don't know. How do you describe this character without sounding like an idiot? I would really like to know. To Cowboy Bebop fans, I think they really enjoy her, and to be fair, I think she's not a bad character, I just don't think she has much to do at times. And that can be a bit of a problem, but I overall liked her. Next up is Jet Black. He is possibly one of the most fascinating characters of it, because I wanted to learn a lot of his backstory, and you do. He's a very subtle character too, and probably the nicest of the group. I overall really liked him. And he's definitely my second favorite character of the show. Next to Spike Spiegel himself. Now this guy is cool. I mean it. He's a cool character, and I quite respected his laid-back attitude to a lot of things. Spike is one of those ones you kind of have to watch. I can't really describe too much about him without getting into spoilers, and the less you know about Spike going in, the better. Honestly, I really like his character, and that's all I need to say. The rest of the character cast, which is actually fairly large and episodic, is quite good. Again, complimenting of everything, I love the character cast. It's not my favorite in anime, but it's higher up there. Next up is the animation. And I will say this right now, the animation has aged beautifully. Now, I know it looks a little outdated to today's standards, but guys, this isn't needing to be grade A anime. And for the time, it was grade A. It was some of the best animation of the 90s, if not the best, in my opinion. Cowboy Bebop is a revolutionary anime with its animation and put Sunrise on the map, and I'll get more into another story about it later on. But let's move on to the music, which, again, is highly praised due to Yoko Kanno. And you know what? I completely agree with everyone else. The music is fantastic and well adjusted and just, I love it. That's all I need to say about it. If you cannot tell, I really like Cowboy Bebop. But it's not just a like, it is a respect. This anime is one of the few anime that I have tremendous respect for, without any fault. It's not even like Evangelion, which I kind of hate, but do have some level of respect for it. No, this one, I don't just have respect. I have some of the utmost respect for this anime because of what it's done for the industry. It helped make an English dub, which, by the way, its English dub is awesome and one of the best. And it took the English dubs, which were pretty crappy in the 90s, and made them something special and grand. And I think it helped lay groundwork for some of the dubs we get later on that are described as greats. Bebop led the groundwork for that, and I'm really impressed with it. I loved it. And also, it helped to create Studio Bones, which, if you know me at all, I am a big fan of Studio Bones, and the fact that these guys helped to get its creation finalized is something I love. That was amazing on Bebop's part, and something I will always respect it for. Again, that's the word here, respect. I cannot and will not hate this anime. I wish I could have put it in my top 10, but I couldn't justify it enough yet. Maybe in the future I will, but... And I do admit, I love Bebop a lot more now than I did before, and I liked Bebop quite a bit last time. But seriously, guys, this is one of the best anime. And I do not say this lightly, at all. It is a must-watch. For most anime fans, if for nothing else, than to see where I think a lot of anime for the Western audience got its turning point. Because this was the one that put everything else in place. This is the one that made Toonami popular. This is the one that has done so much for the Western audience for anime. This is a revolutionary anime, and if for nothing else, I just like you to see it as a critical standpoint. I'm not saying you have to like it. Different tastes are different tastes. I'm not saying you have to enjoy it. I didn't quite enjoy it the first time either. But I'm saying that this anime deserves some kind of respect because it treats their audience seriously. And, well, for the most part, you get a few episodes that don't. But that's the thing. It's a wide range. It's like anime itself. It has such a wide range of things, and I love every second of that part of it. And I just love about Cowboy Bebop in general. And honestly, this is an anime that I really think should survive the test of time and become a continuing classic. I give Cowboy Bebop a 9 out of 10. Now, I do have a few nitpicky stuff with it, and that's why it doesn't get a 10 out of 10. But, to be very fair, I think it is one of the very few animes that would actually legitimately deserve a 10 out of 10. And I'm not putting that lightly. Anyways, that's all from me. This has been Star 6 Wars 1, and I'll see you guys next time.